I consider cards from the dark to be penny stocks and not blue chips. But let's talk about the exceptions. Let's discuss.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
So recently I was discussing how during the run up, the dark got crazy huge, and same thing with revised, and that there were no real fundamentals backing up why they got big, besides for people's nostalgia and trying to buy in on stuff that they experienced and enjoyed when they were younger. Now, there's exceptions, of course, to this whole rule about fundamentals. You know, when I say there's no fundamentals backing it up, what I'm talking about is rarity and the fact that, you know, these sets were widely available. Now, these sets were always kind of like the low end, like, well, back then anyway. They were not great. You know, people didn't put it aside like Arabian Nights cards. So let's discuss how I kind of came up and got my collection. In the early 20 teens, I started grading cards way early on in like 2012, 2013. And what I was doing was I was ripping Antiquities and Arabian Nights packs. I started with Arabian Nights. I was ripping Arabian Nights and grading all the cards in the pack. Now, the cards that I was grading was commons and whatnot, and this is considered penny stocks of Arabian Nights, right? Nobody saved the commons, nobody wanted the commons, and so having a high grade common, especially when you're top population, you know, you have the only card that a bunch of set collectors want. There's always going to be a set collector. There's always going to be a high grade set collector. And then there's always going to be the registry set collectors. So how does this apply to the dark and revised? Well, most of the cards in the dark and revised are not worth a lot. However, they weren't really taken care of either. People just tossed them aside, and nobody really, you know, back in the day, you didn't open a pack of the dark and put the whole thing into top loaders. You know what I mean? So now, remember what I said, there's set collectors and there's registry set collectors. So if you're buying the dark and you're buying, I don't know, you're opening packs and grading them, or you're making sure you buy like 20 copies of one card, make sure you take the minty one and return the other 19, and you're grading these cards. Well, now it's a bit different. Because when you talk about high grade, that pool of cards and copies gets so much smaller. And when you're talking about 9.5s, most cards you're talking 10, 20 cards or less are graded at 9.5 or better. So what? 10 or 20 people can collect a high-end set, and that's it. So that's the exception when it comes to the dark and, you know, revised is high grade cards. I don't care if it's a common. If it's the top population, that shit is going to sell, and that is going to sell well, and you're going to be surprised at the prices that it gets. So the dark revised, you know, mainly penny stocks, unless you do it right. And when I say do it right, I can't stress this enough. To only go after minty cards. And this is why TCG Player bothers me so much nowadays, because there's so many cards that you'll get that are light play and people claim near mint. It's because their definition of near mint is, you know, loosey-goosey, very bullshit. So yeah, that's the discussion today. The exception for revised and the dark. Remember to like and subscribe. If you're going to buy any cards today, remember to use my TCG Player affiliate link up here I got the QR code here. Then I also have a link in the description. It's free and easy to use. You click on it and shop like normal. Otherwise, I have one for eBay as well. Otherwise, check out my Patreon, channel memberships, all that stuff. There's links in the description. Take care, everyone. Have a lovely day. Peace.
Game over, man. Game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?